Hi everyone, I'm Miss Eden, and today we're going to be eating the rainbow. I'm going to teach you how to make a delicious fruit salad. So the very first thing that we need to do is to get ready for practical, or mise en place, which means put in place in French. So I've washed my hands, I've readied half a bowl of hot soapy water, I've used a washcloth to sanitise and clean my surfaces, my hair is in a bun, I'm wearing an apron, and now we can get ready and do that. So you will need, for the syrup, 1 lemon and 25 grams of caster sugar. You will also need 200 millilitres of water, we'll get to that very soon. You're going to need blueberries or raspberries, an apple or kiwi, strawberries or a banana, a peach, a nectarine or a plum, something with a stone, and a satsuma, clementine, a tangerine or mandarin. In order to weigh out our water, we want to run the tap. And I'm looking for the 200 millilitre mark. I'm going to pop it down. I'm going to come down nice and low and take a little look. Still moving around quite a lot. There we go, that's close. Need a tiny bit more. Down nice and low, that's more accurate. So what I'm going to do is pop my water into my saucepan. As well as my sugar. There we go, and we'll just leave that for now. It's not on the heat, just leaving it. In order to juice our lemon, we need to cut it in half first of all. So what we say is, if it rolls, cut it in half. So you're going to put your hand, your 4 fingers, on one side like that and hold it. You should be able to just hold it on its own. And then the thumb comes down like a magnet, boop, on the side like so. And now you're ready to go. So I'm going to use the bridge technique and hold my lemon. Knife goes through like a choo-choo train. We use a sawing action. I'm not pressing very hard at all. Cut all the way down like so. And then I have my 2 halves. Now this is my lemon juicer. I have it because it has little measurements on the side. Likely you'll have a slightly different one. It might be made of glass, it might be made of plastic, but regardless, the juicing part always stays the same. So I'm going to show you how to go through this now. Now you can see the middle of the lemon here, and you want to aim to get it on the top, right up here. I'm going to put it over the top. Now I'm going to squeeze with my hands, with my fingers. I'm going to rotate and I'm going to push down all at once. So those 3 things together. So I'm squeezing, I'm pushing, and I'm rotating. And I'm actually going to turn my fingers and I'm going to find another part because I can feel where the flesh is inside the lemon. And I want to get all the juice out, all that lovely juice. Give it a good old squeeze. There we go. You can see there's my juice in the bottom of there. So we're going to add that into the saucepan. I have the juice of both a half of my lemons here. I'm going to pop it into my sugar and water mix. Oh, I missed a seed. There we go, just take him out. Now I'm going to turn on my hob. Now obviously yours will be slightly different to mine. I have an electric hob. Mine goes all the way up to 9. So I want it on a medium-low temperature. So for me that's probably a 3, maybe a 4. There we go. And I'm just going to stir my lemon and my sugar and my water all together until the sugar dissolves. You'll know when the sugar's dissolved because you won't see it any longer. And if you think about it, it shouldn't take very long at all for the sugar to dissolve. If you put a teaspoon of sugar in a cup of tea in the morning, it doesn't take any time for it to dissolve. So I'm just going to stir this for a minute or so. until it's dissolved completely. My blueberries are washed and they can go straight into my bowl. So to prepare strawberries, what we want to do is obviously remove the leafy green from the top, as well as the paler part that's here. What I do see some students doing though is chopping basically half the strawberry off, which is incredibly wasteful. So we want to make sure that we're only trimming off what we need to. So I'm going to put my fingers over the top, and with my hand like so, I'm going to cut all the way through like that. And I can put my food straight in the bin, or I can have a little bits bowl ready to receive it. So my fingers in the claw, of course, were over the top with my fingernails right underneath, basically in line with my knuckles, so that if the knife slips, the worst that will happen is it catches the back of my nail. If I hold food like this, if I hold it sideways, or even like that, if my knife slips, it's going to cut my fingers. So now that we have a flat side, okay, it stays on the surface nice and easily, I'm going to use the bridge technique all the way through. Pop it down. Now I've got two flat sides. I'm going to use the bridge again. I'm going to use the claw. I'm going to cut it into small, even pieces, about the same size as my blueberries. I can pop those in there now. Now already that is looking so colourful, but I think we can do a little better than that. The next one I'm going to go through are the stoned fruits. So in this case I have a plum, and again, if it rolls, cut it in half, because then we have a flat surface to put it on. This is going to be very slightly different to the other one because it has a stone. So I'm going to use the bridge and I'm going to roll it because it's touching the stone at the moment. I'm going to go all the way around, join up with my line, and then I'm going to take both halves and I'm going to twist it away from each other. There we go, and there's my stone. And one with the stone, I'm going to cut down. I'm going to twist that one as well, and now I should be able to remove the stone. There we go. I'll pop that in my bits bowl. So from here, I can just prepare it like I did my strawberries. Next, I have my citrus fruit, so a satsuma, an easy peeler, a clementine, whatever you have. Of course, you just want to peel it like you do any other time when you're having some. So I'm going to do that first. So once we have our peeled fruit, we can carefully pop our thumb in between and open it up so that we have just the segments, like so. Probably want to remove the centre part. So all this white stuff here is called the pith, and that's quite bitter. We don't want to include that in our fruit salad because it will reduce the sweetness. So I'm going to separate the segments, like so. Just taking time, enjoying the process. There we go. Okay, and from here I'm just going to treat them like I did with all my other pieces of fruit. I'm going to use my claw and I'm going to cut them into, these are quite small. Let's have a look. How big do I want them? Maybe into thirds? Yeah. There we go, wonderful. If you've managed to source yourself a kiwi, you can see that this has a lot of sort of hair, sort of fur on the outside. It's not particularly appetising to eat. So the best thing we can do for kiwis is to peel them first of all. You can also peel apples if you wish to. That's completely personal preference, but there's also added fibre to be found in the skin, so where possible you try and eat it. So in order to peel this, we're actually going to start with our vegetable knife. Again, fingers on the side, thumb like a magnet, ready to go. I'm going to use the claw, holding it nice and firmly, and I'm just going to top and tail the bottom and the top, like so. Trying not to remove very much of the fruit, just this particular part, and like so. Now we can set our knife aside, pop these in our bits bowl, and now our peeler comes into play. Now you might have a peeler like this one, sort of an elongated one, you might have a Y-shaped one, just use whatever you have, whatever you're used to. But regardless, there's a couple of ways that we want to make sure that we're being safe in using a peeler. Now if you're not very confident, you can hold it down on your chopping board on a surface. If you're a bit more confident, you can hold it in your hand. But regardless, you'll see that my fingers are not at the bottom of the fruit. If my peeler slips, I'm going to cut myself. Okay, so whether you're holding it down on the side, like so, holding it almost like a bridge, or up in your hand, I'm keeping my fingers nice and clear. Now, I'll show you both. So I'm going to take my peeler, I'm going to come up to the skin edge, that's why I've topped and tailed it here, and whenever you use a peeler you need to use a bit of a sideways wiggle action. It's the only way it works. So sideways as well as pushing down. All the way, there you go, comes off in one beautiful strip. So again, down, nice and firmly, wiggle it all the way down. And if I'm holding it up in my hand, it's the exact same thing, give it a wiggle all the way down, like so. Now, we have ourselves a beautiful piece of fruit ready to prepare. So just like I've done with all the fruits so far, I'm going to use a combination of the bridge and the claw to prepare it into small pieces ready to add to the fruit bowl. So that's how we prepare our kiwi. Beautiful, so colourful, loving this. Now I've left the apple and the banana until last, and the reason for this, you may know, is that they go brown due to oxidisation in the air. So if you cut the apple or the banana first before you cut all these lovely berries and citrus fruits, they'll go brown and mushy and not very nice. So I'm going to start with the apple first of all, and if it rolls, what do? Cut it in half. Bridge technique all the way down. There we go, like so. Ooh, get rid of those seeds, don't want those in there. And I'm going to cut it in half again. And I'm going to cut this one in half again. And in half again. There we go. Now to remove the core, the easiest way I find is, of course, we have a flat side. So I'm going to put the flat side down, I'm going to keep my fingers out of the way, I'm just going to cut it free, like so. There we go. Easy. And now that I have these pieces, now I can chop them into small pieces, the same size as the others. Yeah, you can see my bits bowl's filling up here as well. Now I've left the easiest till last. So you can peel it with your thumb. I like to just start it off like so, literally just cut into it little ways, just makes it a bit easier. All the way down. Peel it free, take the end out. Try and, oops, daisy. Try and remove the stringy parts, there we go. And then of course you can just cut it into little sort of coin shapes. Oops, running away from me. And see, I'm still using my claw technique the whole time. There we go. Okay, look at that. Beautiful, and it smells wonderful as well. Such a variety in there. It's so appetising. All the pieces are the same size. You know, you're going to get a little bite of everything every time you have a mouthful. And the last thing we're going to do is add our cooled liquid. There we go, in it goes. And of course the purpose of the syrup is to prevent browning. So it's to stop the apple and the banana and the other fruits from browning as well. Of course the alternative is to use fresh fruit juice, but the purpose of making the syrup is that we learned a new skill on the hob. So there is my beautiful fruit salad. Such variety, such colour, such an easy way to eat the rainbow, in addition to all of our lovely veggies that we enjoy so much as well. So before I tuck into that, I'm going to do my washing up, as you should too, but I hope you've enjoyed making that with me today. See you next time.